We've heard a lot about user adoption, so that getting the users utilising it, so that comes down to your usage. The technology itself, you've brought in a bit of business process in there as well, and the policies and governance of all things that are important to make these projects successful. What about this drive towards cloud technology? I mean, is that going to affect things? How does that improve things?
Very leading question. To be honest, if you look at what the concept of cloud, and if you look at the industry as a whole, and I was discussing this last week in Germany, what cloud does, it takes the technology that's available today and makes it available from the cloud, and with that comes significant efficiencies in the way the architecture is looked after. Flexibility in terms of where it's accessed from. It's always on. The provision of the technology, the provision of that infrastructure is now consumed over some form of connectivity and primarily the internet. Obviously, and there's an awful lot of power in the cloud. So it does change the way in which organisations can structure themselves. It does change the way in which organisations can consume new technology and scale up rapidly and scale down rapidly. But what it doesn't do yet, it provides the ability to do it, but it doesn't come up with the next shiny feature or function. And this is one thing that I think we are certainly heading towards, which is taking this massively improved power that you have from technology that's hosted in the cloud and the ability to very quickly take some of the smarts that we have in a business and develop and bring to market greater capability. If everybody just went to the cloud and everybody just consumed exactly the same technology and exactly the same flavour, how do they differentiate? How do they spend an awful lot of money and just to have the same platform that everybody else has? So we're addressing that and we're developing our own tools and our own software that utilises the power of the cloud, but also enables us to affect real value for the customer.
That's interesting. So in terms of value there, you mentioned, what would you class as the value Modality brings to its customers?
Primarily, our value is our people. It's a very almost corny thing to say, really. We're only as good as the people that we have in the team. But fundamentally, it's true. There is so much choice, and there is so much, so many options available in terms of how you consume the technology, what technology you consume, which vendor you go with. It's almost back to that last point I was making around how do you differentiate if you're just going to consume some software from a very large vendor around the world. How do you make that different for you? And that's where we come. Quite simply, it's making sure we understand your business, we understand how you work, we understand what you're trying to drive and the changes, and then we use our incredibly talented workforce to give you that experience and that solution.